Okay, we're continuing our football club history series. We're looking at the history of Reading Football Club, the Royals, as they're known. They currently play at the Medeski Stadium, which is known for sponsorship reasons as the Select Car Leasing Stadium. They moved there in 1998. The stadium currently seats 24,161. Now, the club itself was founded on Christmas Day 1871, so it's actually one of the oldest clubs in English professional football. The club turned professional in 1895, so very long time being a professional club, but they don't play in the Football League, they're playing in the Southern League at this point. And not long after turning professional, they moved to the old Elm Park, which was their home ground between 1896 and 1998. Obviously, their most famous player is Robin Friday. We'll do a video on his career. He's a fantastic player to look at. He's got a very, very colourful career. It's a very colourful incident surrounding Robin Friday. Before they joined the Football League in 1920, just before the First World War, they toured Italy in 1913. And the Italian newspapermen basically said this was the best footballing side Italy had ever seen. That was the Corriere dello Sport. So not the Gazzetta dello Sport, the Corriere, which is the other sporting newspaper. They commented that this was the best sporting team ever to grace Italian soil, the best footballing team they'd ever seen, and very complimentary about that tour in 1913. Obviously, war breaks out after the First World War. There's a massive expansion of the Football League, and Reading is one of those clubs that is taken into the expanded Football League in 1920. It takes until 2006 for them to become a top-flight club. Between 2006 and 2008, they were a Premier League side. They get relegated out of the Premier League with second-season syndrome is the best way to describe their second season in the Premier League. They bounce back to the Premier League for the 2012-2013 seasons. They've only spent 3 seasons in total since joining the Football League in the top flight. But they do have some very interesting records, They hold the longest win streak to ever start a season, the most points a club has ever achieved in a league season, and the 55th fastest goal of all time. So there's some very interesting records. The honours. So they won the Full Members' Cup in the 87-88 season, and that is a competition that was very short-lived and was brought about due to the expulsion from European club football of English clubs following the Hazel disaster. So that was another way to get clubs a bit more revenue and cup revenue and stuff like that. So the Full Members' Cup didn't last very long, but Reading won that in the 87-88 season. It's now a defunct competition. And during the Second World War, there were several regional FA Cup type competitions played. So the London War Cup was won by Reading in 1941. So when league play had been suspended, they decided to do some charity fundraising for the war effort, and football teams contributed to that by playing in the various War Cups that were up and down the country at the time, and they won the London War Cup in 41. They've been to several League Cup quarter-finals and 2 FA Cup semi-finals. The 1926-27 FA Cup semi-final, they lost to the eventual winners Cardiff, and the 2014-2015 semi-final, they lost to the eventual winners Arsenal. So if they ever make an FA Cup semi-final, it's generally against the side that's going to win the FA Cup that season, and that's the furthest they've been in the FA Cup. They've never made an FA Cup final. Both those semi-finals occurred when they were outside the top flight. So there you go. Club records, the highest ever league finish is 8th in the Premier League. They did that in the 2006-2007 season, their first ever season in the top flight. The longest win streak to start a season is 13 consecutive wins to start a season. That was in the 85-86 season, so not long before they win the Full Members' Cup. The most points in a league season, this is an English footballing record of 106 points in a season. That was in the 05-06 season, the season before they're promoted to the Premier League. That was a scary side in 2005-2006. That was a very, very good side. That they basically kept together for their first Premier League season, and it served them well because they finished 8th. The fastest goal in club history was scored by Yaku Maite at 9.55 seconds into a game in the 2020-2021 season. It is the 55th fastest goal of all time. Let that one sink in. There's some fun records there. Rivalries: Aldershot Town, Oxford United, and Swindon Town. Now, the original Aldershot Football Club went bust in 1992. They have reformed as Aldershot Town. They're currently in the non-league. Oxford United have spent a spell in the non-league during recent times, have bounced back. They regularly played against Reading in the lower divisions, and of course Swindon Town just down the M4. And the Oxford-Swindon-Reading rivalry is known as the Didcot Triangle, because Didcot is slap bang as a town right in the middle of the three. So there's their local rivals. But for the most part, Reading, much like clubs like Brighton and Swindon, they're sort of in the middle of nowhere. There's no real club near them. So that's their local rivals, regional rivals, but they don't play against each other regularly because they're all in different divisions. Aldershot are in the, I believe, the Conference or the National League. Oxford United are in League One. Swindon Town are in League Two, and Reading are in the Championships. They're all in different divisions at the moment, so they're not regularly playing against each other. It's been a long time since they've regularly gone head to head in league or cup play. But there we go. So there's a brief history of Reading Football Club. I will do a video on the career of Robin Friday at some point because he's a colourful character. Really, the best player you didn't see, basically, because he was playing at his peak in the 70s. He died very young as well. He was referred to as a lower division version of George Best. He was an exceptionally talented player who liked to do quite a bit of drinking and drug taking. He wouldn't have made it in today's game. He would have been suspended for various failings of drugs tests for recreational drugs in his system, no doubt. He was generally drunk whilst playing, and he's famous for some of his famous celebrations, like including kissing a police officer and mooning the opposition crowd. So there we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.